Right, so thought I'd put another video out since I'm around about 800 miles further on with the bike now. Yeah, a few things to share, I guess. I mean, all in all, it's been absolutely brilliant. Pretty much had no problems whatsoever. I did fit the dropper post. I changed out the seat because I just wanted something a bit more comfortable. I changed out the dropper post, which I mentioned in the last video. So I've just got a quick release on there and the shorter dropper post off my other bike, and I've just put a cable up the side. It's not brilliant, it's not as good as the internal cable routing, but it'll do. Taken off the little chain thing here because it's just pointless. You've got like the XT mech with the clutch means the chain never comes off. Never had any problems with that, whereas that was kind of wearing out. I just thought, okay, let's just get rid of that. Pretty much all the gaffer tape's still in place, and not really sure how much it's kind of helping. The black dots on the nuts is where I've marked on, so I don't have to keep checking the bolts to make sure they're tight enough. But pretty much, as you can see, the bolts I was complaining about previously are all staying tight. So yeah, I've just gone around doing that. I was going to check them today and I'd forgotten I'd marked it. Got the torque wrench out, but actually everything was okay. Need a bit of air in the shock. I've put some spacers in the rear shock. Like I say, I bought the large bike and I'm only 65k, so I can't quite get the suspension set up the way I wanted, but I put the I forget what it's called, but there's like a 1.5 spacer. I think it's a Now Dog or something in the shock. That was okay. Just bought some cheap tools off eBay to do that, and I put a few tokens in fork as well. I've fiddled around a bit. I'm not sure how many I've got in there at the moment, but I've got the fork set up really well now. It never really doesn't quite bottom out because even with big jumps and things, I just don't weigh enough. But I also don't want to run too high pressure or too low a pressure, because then it just won't get anything like the travel. So done that. I've had a few errors. I've had an E10, I think it was an E10 error, but anyway, I looked on the internet and ended up putting some dielectric grease on the battery terminals. Since I've done that, I've not had any further problems. So I think that was just something to do with the sort of vibration and the terminals disconnecting. But yeah, that solved that. I haven't got it on at the moment, but I do have a badass box, which you can see. I've got the badass magnet. I do find that makes a major difference. Kind of, don't know. You know, there's a lot on the internet about that. I use it responsibly, but for me, the 15 mile an hour cutoff is just silly. It ruins quite a lot of rides. I mean, there's some places I go where it barely makes any difference, whereas there's other trail centres I go a little bit faster, and constantly cutting out of 15 mile an hour just can sort of ruin some trails. So yeah, I mean, that's just a thing I've decided to do. What I did find out with the badass is when it's very, very cold, you've got to have a really good battery in it. So I just carry around some of the top Duracell batteries, and I also take it off as well. Taking it off, so I keep it warm. So I got that in the house. That's pretty much it for the update, really. You know, it's been the best thing I've ever bought by far. There's not many products. I think expectations are high these days for products that you buy, but this one has absolutely exceeded expectations. Yeah, I took a bit of a risk, bought it at like 40% discount, but that's panned out really well. The only thing that is a bit of a shame is the battery's only a 500 watt hour battery, and my friend's got like a 600 or 700 watt battery on his Specialized, and it'd be nice to have the 600 watt battery, but I've looked on the internet again, it's the same sort of fittings, but some of the cabling's different. It's just not quite plug and play. So I do find rides are getting limited by the battery size, so that's my only slight concern. I might buy a second battery, or might just live with it for a while until I can afford something else. But I've only had it 6 months, and yeah, so far so good. It's been absolutely brilliant. So that's it really. That's in case anyone's got any sort of concerns whether to get an e-bike that's potentially been sat around for a couple of years and worrying about battery performance or worrying about quality or anything like that. It's just knocked it out of the park. I don't think that I think the battery performs compared to my friends Specialized. I tend to get a little bit more power out of the motor, so I think it uses a bit more power, and it compares well with the far larger battery on the Specialized. So I feel like I'm getting the 500 watts. Everything's just awesome. I mean, it's all top spec kit, so as you would expect. The brakes are awesome, gears are faultless. Motor's been great. I suppose the only problem with the badass box, I have to not make sure I don't upgrade the firmware on the motor, or that's going to become a problem possibly. So I don't risk it. So I've just left that how it is. Yeah, just thoroughly recommended. It's been so far so good. Okay, well hopefully that'll be helpful. I mean, these are not for sale anymore, so it's more of a sort of generic update. But yeah, 100% pleased, and I'll make the same purchasing decisions again. It was an absolute steal at, like, I think 3.2 I paid for it or something, for what is like a £5 bike. Yeah, so far so good, no downsides. Excellent, thanks for watching my video. Bye.